Umalanina, dadka kale khasab buu u geliyay. He by force he made the other ones join it. Marka khair baan ii rajaynaya. Assalaamu calaykum.
ها no بور aad yaa mahadsan tahay arrinta adiga maanta ka hadashay iyo maca twitterka adiga soo degtay waa arrin oo aad u muhiim ah why because arrintaas si lagu isticmaalo waa sida adiga tiriba ayaga waxay ka dhigoon in garankan oo camel corpska in garan inay ahayd oo gumaysi ahaa oo waxba tarin jireen oo oo cadaanka ku buuxoon like just confusing baaniya sheegan Boer, adiga ma heshay the list of names of Camel Corps dadkii ku jiraan like the xagee ahayd ma British Archive adiga waxaa filanaya British Archives kini ahayd there's like thousands of names or maca waxay ayaga like what their job was marka aniga waxaa ka akhriyay in the Somaliland Camel Corps that they had like special sharpshooters. Like they were very, very good sharpshooters ahead of their times. In Aiga at one point that they traveled to Kenya to defend there. Because I think if we make those face, those people actual faces. I think I have this dream, like I think like for a long time. That you have like cartoons about Kitafike, about the Camel Corps, just educational way or dadka u arkun karon and almost like in an anime style that you would like follow the characters and almost yeah like that maka
there is my brother and wakuso dirikara the ones that are available already but majority of them and ingiriiska taala runtii haddaad rabtid it's out there in ingiriiska and you'll see more in details the kale ogo a lot of money was spent to bury a lot of our history and a lot of money was spent to fabricate a lot of new history marka and ingiriiska archiveska national museum ko kale waa ka heli kartaa militaryga laftigooda they have a specific branch ay kala haystaan it's funny World War II iyo World Wars marka lagu leeyahay oo Somalilanders joined the dagaal oo maxay sameeyeen horta were they supposed to sit down and watch was there not alliances and allegiance did we not have a treaty horta maxaan sameeyeen dadkayga markii Talyaaniga imaadeen they were trying to go all the way down to the Suez Canal take over were we supposed to just sit down and watch when these our young Danyarta, even some grown men are saying that Camel Corps cannot dagaalamiya with the English side by side fighting against the fascist German and Italians where too they should have just sat down in their mountains man Allah is just a laughing matter to me these same soldiers they went feed the fascists 1941 operations be added and they went all the way to Eritrea and Somalia and helped clear the fascists out of there. And so is it not something to be proud of? To be like, yo, my own people went and helped the neighboring countries and cleared fascism out of there? In Costa Luso in 1950. So inshallah I'll also do some of these things. Just let me know, but I do agree with you. We need to do a lot of visual things, whether it's animation, whether it's however it is historically. I would love to work with you on that one. But our youngsters need to know that they have one of the richest histories ever. They're proud of other histories, but they should understand that they have one of the best histories in the world. Assalamu alaikum.
عليك السلام aad yaa mahadsan tahay Boer 26th of June kusoo dhawaad adeer I think he's yara busy hadu sunog adeer that's samay markaas I will give him the mic no Boer I would love to work with you on that sorry.
هذا خدك كبح ذا فين كما مغلي كرنو هذا من مغلي كرتيد كسو لعبو من مغلي كرتان
أيوة كم مقلة ترى. I can hear your abs.
yeah.
I can hear your abs. And so talking about 26th of June left together, Maraktai. If we did not have, you know, the Somaliland scouts, if we did not have our borders, Kayaga, schools, Kayaga established, our trade, which was established from a long time ago. A lot of people, Mukalayapanan, the Berber affair as well. You know, we had Berber affair where people would come from all around the world. Magarate. Marka, we had so many things, you know, and all of that, we were prepared for our June 26, 1960. I'm not going to the pilot seat came on for this. We are running the show now. 5 days later, the worst co-pilot I am. Zero qualifications, Hester. With the help of the United Nations, you know. Marka, a lot of things on Mesha Kadai, a lot of our people don't even know. Our first political party, Alasame, 1930s ahead, you know, Somaliland National Society. Can you imagine that? And we don't even know much about it. Maka Hewa Sudan went about no. I think Adair is back. Maka Mike Wanu Dibe.
At my sit I bor. I'm inviting him. لا أدر ده سمله سجونيو. Bur, of all the things that you've read, and which one were you the most proud of? Or like that story, that anecdote. But on that side.
Honestly, out of historical things, you know, the one thing that I'm proud of is the common sense that Kaygo has sent Berigi Hore. Say that Kola Ta'amuli Cheren. يعني الدنيا ده حقها كواركتي people dealing with power like that and telling them you can't come into my country and do whatever you want. 1825 واحد يقول سمايا وعركتي dadki don't make it مادين. You know, they يعني yes, it was people that came to their coast, they attacked the ship, they killed the everybody on board, you know. لكن 3 years أيا لقوا سمايا for 3 years حلقوا سمايا a whole lockdown on the whole place والله حلق. You know, no trade, no nothing. Our people were not affected. Yes, of course they were affected, but not as much as Yemen and the rest of the other world. And the number one suppliers of meat, Anaki ahead. 3 years later, they did a treaty with us, 1827. 1827, here's a treaty. Any ships, Meshakalatamada, DSB Slesamayan, and 15,000 Spanish dollars. Ayala Lugudi when I'm Magbihisan. Now you tell me in 1827 that you have to pay this much back to each single family members. Do you think they would just say that if they did not know our customary laws? A lot of our people would, you know, English we would always fight them. Do you think that they did not know? They used to tell them just so they could feel that, hey, our man is worth as much as your men. You kill one of us, you have to pay gela. And that gela, what they would do? They would take it. I'm Australia, Lodria, Karkod, I'm Botswana. That's why you started to see gel kego mela kala kala choga. We always used to fight them. One of the other things I'm really proud of is Intadan Imesha Chogan. Another proof. And we didn't allow any of their children to be born there. You know, 70 years in Mesha. We never allowed integration. You know, we never allowed them to build a lot of things in our main cities. We didn't even
I
allow
think
them to live in the cities. Outskirts, you know. Marka, there's a lot of things to be proud of your history.
okay, but sorry to stop you. I was looking for that. You see, there was a treaty because I've heard it in oral tradition growing up, like here. While it is shared, the same things that you just mentioned, I was going to mention to you, funny enough, and wow, that we didn't let no one to have give birth in our country or something. They used to take him to the sea, or they couldn't build a house. They can build a house, but it's for a certain amount of numbers or something on that line. Like just
on
what you
the
were speaking about.
outskirts.
Have you
On
got
the
that?
outskirts.
Have you got that in the treaty? Because I've read a couple of treaties and I couldn't find that.
I could send you some of the stuff that I have that I read about that.
Yeah,
However,
please.
you know, I mean, your neighbors, if you look at Eritrea, if you look at Somalia, they built it that way. Why do you think Italy got, Italy or fascist ahead, or Dagal, or laga qaaday all their territories, or UN to law established so these territories could be governed, you know? Why was it Somalia logo عليه? Because they took their case over there and they said, we built it. We built that whole thing from scratch. Everything you see there is ours. 10 years, Alugudi, here you go. And this 10 years proved that you could be part of our society again. No, it was going to be a big old embarrassment. And that's when all this propaganda started. The Somaliland Scouts got incorporated because 8 years and a half, almost 9 years into the trusteeship, they didn't even have a police force. Somaliland Scouts got and then they spread them all around and incorporated it into their thing. Even though in Greece they knew this is going to be a disaster. What did they need to do? Fulfill some certain requirements that they needed to do. Independence Code was supposed to be December 2. Even December 2, they cannot even fulfill it by December 2. And then July 1st. The Arabic Republic said no. Let's do it on November 15th. And then they went and had a little secret meeting and then unanimously voted. And they voted in a way, it was the fourth committee. They voted in a way where when they pass it, there's no way nothing was ratified. Until today, 2023, we're suffering from that. Marka, prior to 1960, we were good. Schoolyaan Hessen, hospitals, our borders and everything was great. Everything was mashallah. After 1960, disaster. Marka, what we need to work hard is, in Kalabadna, what put us there. When we find out what put us there, collectively to work together. Case kege in Angeno, case kege is like easy, Trade kalaga hadlayo. When you look at Barbara Fair, الدنيا دون أنا كوحل بكرة جالسين كنا even American. In the 1800s, there was Boston syndicates. Syndicates in newspapers. Boston syndicates just arrived in Somaliland. What were they doing in Somaliland? That's why Manchester, they used to come all the time to Somaliland. Why were they coming to Somaliland? For trade. If you look at the amount of things that used to be sent from Somaliland to America, skins and hides, in the millions of dollars, we don't need anything from anybody. 1991, when we were recovering, we didn't allow no Hayado or no and European people to come in. They got mad. The United Nations got upset. 6.9% only of the aid Garcia. We recovered without them. So what makes you think that we need them right now? 1991, right away, Barbara, the whole business started right away. After these people are just like the Japanese. Japanese said load to me and then they came back, boom, alive again. These people are just like the Japanese, out of nowhere, right when the war stopped. And out of nowhere, business get right away started. The ones that are going, sending stuff to Ethiopia, then business started going. Marka, you have to understand our people are very, 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 very resilient. They just need to stop with this mentality that we need anybody to succeed. that we need anybody to move ahead. Anaka umba subahan, we need each other, and collectively we could become something. يعني الدنيا ده ميل فوق بك قاري كنوايو. Before Africa and Asia and a lot of these other worlds were anywhere, we were the ones that were being spoken about. Anaka mel fوق كلمريتشني. Anaka trade and everything kala semenchene. We are our own people. Or again, Berberayo Denayahas used to go to Aden. أي بيع مشتري وحيابك كلا semenchene. And then they would meet people over there and they'd be like, oh, where you headed to Somaliland? Oh, you going for lion hunting? And I know everything about that. Come meet me over there. And then the people would come. And then they would just go and, enjoy their little hunting and do what they had to do. Because there was a lot of lions that would come and attack Datka, So a lot of these people used to come. There was even and two Dianas in Somaliland. Two girls by themselves coming to Somaliland. Nobody with them. Their uncle told them all about it. They went, they hired their headmen, they hired their own caravan, and they started traveling around. However, when they crossed territories and they went into Mauritania, the story changed a little bit. And when they came back into Somaliland, they were so happy. Happy because the way they describe it, even the person who has nothing will try to offer you something in Somaliland. It doesn't matter. He will try to offer you something. Even the Sultan was talking to them and had a conversation with them and told them, how come you two are traveling alone and not married? Why are you not married and traveling alone? You have no husband? I could have then, they sat down with them, in Greece, situation is kind of not the same. When they first came, he gave them a sheep as a gift. Later on, when they heard their story, he felt sorry for them and gave them another sheep. And it's written right there in the book, marka dadkayga waxay ahaayeen dad masha Allah, they had common sense. Even the ones who Kenya joogay, they established that thing that called the Asiatic status that a lot of people, even just because the ones Fakash are making fun of it or blah, some of our Somalilanders fall for it. Do you know that the Asiatic status helped a lot of our Somalilanders that would go into Ethiopia when there would be a crime or anything that would occur? The laws of Ethiopia, because as an Asiatic status, our elders, wallah, how smart they were, people. They used the Kolobowski Treaty, where they cannot be tried with the laws of Ethiopia. Can you imagine that? Nope. There's a treaty such and such, and because of our Asiatic status, we're going to use this, so your laws do not apply to us. Common sense and them traveling around and them going to schools. A lot of things was burnt, a lot of knowledge was burnt, but the oral society was not, oral language was not. 32 years a lot of our people that died, us being spread all around the world. That oral language, oral key, stories key that was supposed to be passed down to us is no longer there. So we need some of our elders to tell us some of these stories. We could, translate it to other languages, but we need some of this knowledge. Because it was passed down to you. So figure a way to pass it down to us. marka waan igu badiyay maanta waan igu dheereeyay raalayga ahaada khayr baan idin jeeday assalaamu calaykum
aad yaa umahadsan tahay buur. Thank you very much. Aniga waxaa arkay in Saciid ina soo galay. Saciid, I'm not sure Mike ma rabat ina qabsatid aniga 26th of June la hadlay. So if you want to grab the mic kaale soo gabo. Iyo buur adiga si fiican yaa wada shay aad yaa umahadsan tahay arintan adiga hada shay Camel Corps-ka. If I were you, aniga kan focus yaa u saaran lahaa sida dadku u fahmoon, because aniga miki Camel Corps-ka mechanic waxaas oo dhan ka bartay. I felt very proud. I didn't feel like we were colonized. I felt like Somaliland made a very strategic business decision, and it helped our country a lot. And they treated us in a manner of respect you know, like they would bomb us, and it's weird. I think I want that, but that's actually treating us as equals, because if we're you know, they wouldn't even bother, you know, they would slaughter us instead of like attacking us as a different nation. كان intaas aniga rabo inuu ku daro. I don't think Saeed inuu make inuu rabo, honestly he would have got that one. markaas aniga spacekan maanta waa xidhanayaa. aad iyo aad yaa u mahadsantihiin aniga shaqadeedii ina ku noqdo. Yeah, for next time you noqon doonta. ABS Boer Agli 26th of June. aad yaa mahadsantihiin ina maanta ina hadasheen. Maygaak yaa weli ku jira. Thank you for all the contribution oo maanta samayseen iyo dhammaantiin waan is salaamay.